The Duke of York stands at a crossroads, stripped of his working titles and facing potential banishment to one of Britain's most isolated locations. Sources close to the palace suggest King Charles is orchestrating a dramatic relocation plan. But the most devastating blow may come from those closest to him, his own daughters. Welcome to Royal Update, where we're investigating the complete unraveling of Prince Andrew's royal life. In a stunning announcement last week, Prince Andrew declared he would cease using his Duke of York and Earl of Inverness titles, along with additional honors bestowed upon him. While these titles technically remain his, as only parliamentary action can officially revoke them, the symbolic gesture speaks volumes. The catalyst? The posthumous publication of Virginia Giuffre's memoir, containing detailed allegations that she was trafficked and coerced into sexual encounters with Andrew on 3 separate occasions by convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The prince has maintained his innocence throughout, adamantly denying both the accusations and ever having met Giuffre. However, new claims have surfaced suggesting Andrew directed his advisors to gather compromising information about Giuffre, who tragically died by suicide earlier this year at age 41. The mounting scandal has placed enormous pressure on King Charles to take decisive action against his younger brother. Palace insiders reveal the monarch has exhausted the options available within his constitutional powers. According to recent reports, Charles is now attempting to persuade Andrew to accept residence at the Castle of May, situated in the remote Scottish Highlands. This historic property, located in Caithness at Scotland's northern edge, was purchased by the Queen Mother during the 1950s. Though it welcomes public visitors annually, the castle serves as a private retreat for King Charles and Queen Camilla each summer, typically before their journey to Balmoral. Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, recounts a memorable visit where Meghan Markle serenaded seals at the castle, a trip that preceded her pregnancy with Prince Archie, leading Harry to playfully declare his wife possessed magical powers. For Andrew, however, this wouldn't be a seasonal escape. This would be permanent banishment. Royal biographer Andrew Loney, whose controversial book on Andrew and Sarah Ferguson contained explosive revelations about the former couple, recently wrote in the Daily Mail that Ferguson's unwavering support for her ex-husband has its limits. Loney asserts that Fergie won't follow Andrew to Scotland should he accept relocation to the Castle of May. The biographer highlights a sobering reality. The castle sits merely 6 miles from John O'Groats, which, despite its romantic reputation as Britain's northeastern terminus, comprises primarily uninspiring council housing, a recreational area, and limited retail options. Remarkably, in 2010, Urban Realm magazine bestowed upon John O'Groats the infamous Carbuncle Award, designating it Scotland's most depressing town. This could become Prince Andrew's new reality. If you think we've covered everything, think again. Subscribe to Royals Update and activate notifications, because the consequences of Andrew's scandals are now affecting his innermost circle. John O'Groats, home to approximately 300 residents, enjoys recognition as a tourist destination, marking one of mainland Britain's 2 furthest points alongside Land's End. Yet it's simultaneously been characterized as a disappointing tourist destination. Loney speculates that Andrew won't remain there long-term and has already reduced his time at Royal Lodge on the Windsor estate. The author predicts the prince will ultimately establish residence elsewhere, potentially outside Scotland entirely. Loney writes that Andrew, nicknamed Air Miles Andy for his extensive travels, might settle in Abu Dhabi, where he maintains a standing invitation to utilize a lavish palace courtesy of the Emirates' ruling family. Loney provocatively added that it's also a location where he could depend on securing those massages he's grown quite accustomed to over the years, a thinly veiled reference to Andrew's controversial past. Meanwhile, the ripple effects on Andrew's immediate family are becoming unmistakable. Loney revealed that Andrew's daughters, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, have sought professional counseling to process the numerous scandals involving both parents. More troubling still, rumors circulate that they're maintaining significantly less contact with their father than previously. The disgraced royal confronts additional humiliation as his closest family members allegedly prepare to establish distance, especially if the Highland relocation proceeds. This Christmas at Sandringham will prove particularly telling. Loney observes that should Beatrice and Eugenie choose to attend the Norfolk festivities rather than visit their parents, it will demonstrate that Andrew and Fergie have been abandoned by the only two individuals who once offered unconditional loyalty. Witnessing Andrew's own daughters prioritize the broader royal family over him would constitute the definitive symbol of his complete isolation. This prospective exile transcends a simple change of residence. It represents the monarchy's attempt to physically distance a scandal from public consciousness while navigating an extraordinarily delicate situation. Though King Charles lacks authority to formally revoke Andrew's titles, he can create circumstances uncomfortable enough to make exile appear preferable to relentless public scrutiny. The questions remain. Will Prince Andrew accept Highland exile or escape to Abu Dhabi? Have Beatrice and Eugenie genuinely distanced themselves from their father? And what will Andrew's potential absence from Sandringham this Christmas signify about his standing within the family? Share your perspective in the comments below. For continuous updates on this evolving story and comprehensive royal coverage, subscribe to Royal Explored and enable notifications. The Andrew saga continues to unfold, and the next developments may prove the most startling yet.